Imagine a world where you're no longer a slave to your feelings, where every decision you make is guided by unwavering reason and clarity. This isn't just a fantasy, it's the reality that awaits you on the other side of this video. We're about to embark on a journey through the depths of human emotion, challenging everything you thought you knew about your inner world. In the next few minutes, I'll reveal the hidden truths behind your emotional responses, truths that have been shaping your life without your knowledge. You'll discover why your gut feelings often lead you astray, and how to reclaim control over your mind and your future. This isn't just another self-help lecture. It's a call to arms against the tyranny of unchecked emotion. By the end of this video, you'll have the tools to see through the lies your emotions tell you. You'll learn to make decisions based on reason rather than impulse, to face challenges with stoic resolve, and to build a life of purpose and fulfillment. This knowledge has the power to transform every aspect of your existence, from your relationships and career to your deepest sense of self. Are you ready to pull back the curtain and see the truth? Let's begin. Since the dawn of human consciousness, we've been at the mercy of our emotions. They've guided our choices, shaped our societies, and defined our very existence. We celebrate them in art, dissect them in literature, and base our most important decisions on their whispered counsel. But what if I told you that this cornerstone of human experience is fundamentally flawed? That the very feelings we trust to guide us through life are often leading us astray, sabotaging our happiness and success at every turn? It's a bold claim, I know. You might be feeling skeptical right now, perhaps even a bit defensive. After all, your emotions are an integral part of who you are, aren't they? They're what make you human, what connect you to others, what give life its color and meaning. How could something so essential, so deeply ingrained in our nature, possibly be misleading us? But consider this. How many times have you made a decision in the heat of anger, only to regret it later? How often have your fears held you back from pursuing your dreams? When was the last time your jealousy poisoned a relationship, or your anxiety paralyzed you in the face of opportunity? These aren't isolated incidents. They're symptoms of a deeper problem, one that's been plaguing humanity since we first developed the capacity for complex thought. The truth is, our emotions evolved for a world that no longer exists. They're relics of our prehistoric past, designed to keep us alive in an environment of constant physical danger. Fear, anger, jealousy, these were once crucial survival tools, triggering the fight-or-flight response that kept our ancestors alive in the face of predators and rival tribes. But in our modern world of abstract threats and complex social dynamics, these same emotions often misfire, causing us to react in ways that are at best unhelpful and at worst deeply destructive. Think about the last time you felt a surge of rage in traffic. Your heart raced, your muscles tensed, adrenaline flooded your system, all because someone cut you off or drove too slowly. In that moment, your body was preparing you for a life-or-death battle, even though the actual threat to your well-being was minimal. This mismatch between our emotional responses and our current reality is at the heart of so many of our problems. But it's not just the negative emotions that lead us astray. Even feelings we consider positive can be deceptive. The euphoria of new love, for instance, can blind us to red flags in a relationship. The excitement of a potential purchase can override our rational assessment of whether we can actually afford it. Our desire for immediate gratification often sabotages our long-term goals and happiness. This isn't to say that emotions are inherently bad, or that we should strive to eliminate them entirely. They're an integral part of the human experience, and when properly understood and managed, they can enrich our lives immeasurably. The problem arises when we allow our emotions to dictate our actions without the tempering influence of reason and reflection. So, how do we break free from this emotional tyranny? How do we learn to see through the lies our feelings tell us and make decisions based on clear-headed rationality? The answer lies in an ancient philosophy that's experiencing a modern renaissance: Stoicism. The Stoics understood millennia ago what modern psychology is only now confirming, that our emotions are not infallible guides, but rather interpretations of reality that can be flawed, biased, or outright deceptive. They recognized that true freedom and happiness come not from being at the mercy of our feelings, but from cultivating a mindset of rational detachment and unwavering focus on what's truly within our control. This isn't about suppressing your emotions or becoming a cold, unfeeling automaton. It's about developing the ability to step back from your immediate emotional reactions, to question their validity, and to choose your response based on reason and your highest values. It's about recognizing that while you can't always control how you feel, you absolutely can control how you act in response to those feelings. Imagine facing a major setback in your career. Your immediate emotional response might be a crushing sense of failure, leading to despair and self-doubt. But what if, instead of being swept away by these feelings, you could pause and examine them objectively? What if you could recognize that this setback, while painful, is also an opportunity for growth and redirection? This is the power of Stoic thinking. It allows you to transform obstacles into opportunities, to find strength in adversity, and to maintain your equilibrium in the face of life's inevitable ups and downs. But make no mistake, this is not an easy path. It requires constant vigilance, self-reflection, and a willingness to challenge your most deeply held beliefs about yourself and the world. It means confronting uncomfortable truths and taking full responsibility for your choices and actions. It means letting go of the comforting illusion that happiness comes from external circumstances and embracing the sometimes daunting reality that true fulfillment can only come from within. As we delve deeper into this journey, we'll explore specific techniques and mindsets that will help you develop this Stoic resilience. We'll look at how to identify and challenge the cognitive distortions that often underlie our emotional responses. We'll discuss practices like negative visualization that can help you appreciate what you have and prepare for potential setbacks. And we'll explore how to cultivate a sense of purpose that transcends the fluctuations of your emotional state. But before we go further, I want you to take a moment to reflect on your own life. Think about a recent situation where your emotions led you astray. Perhaps it was an argument where anger caused you to say things you regret, or a moment of fear that prevented you from seizing an important opportunity. How might that situation have played out differently if you'd been able to see through the deception of your emotions and respond with reason and clarity? Now, imagine extending that clarity to every aspect of your life. Picture yourself navigating relationships with empathy and understanding, unburdened by jealousy or insecurity. Envision tackling challenges at work with calm determination, your productivity no longer at the mercy of stress or self-doubt. See yourself pursuing your deepest aspirations with unwavering focus, no longer held back by fear of failure or need for constant validation. This is the life that awaits you on the other side of emotional deception. It's a life of profound inner peace, of unshakable confidence, of true freedom. And it's entirely within your reach. The path won't always be easy. There will be moments of doubt, of backsliding, of intense emotional turmoil. But with each step, you'll be building the mental strength and clarity to weather any storm. As we continue, I want you to approach this material not just as an intellectual exercise, but as a profound challenge to your way of being in the world. Question everything. Challenge your assumptions. Be willing to let go of comforting illusions in favor of empowering truths. Remember, the goal isn't to become emotionless, but to develop a harmonious relationship between your feelings and your reason, where emotions inform but do not control your actions. In the next section, we'll dive into the specific ways your emotions deceive you and how to begin the process of seeing through these deceptions. We'll explore the common cognitive distortions that warp our perception of reality and learn techniques for recognizing and countering them. But before we do, take a deep breath. Center yourself. Prepare to have your worldview challenged and expanded. The journey ahead may be challenging, but I promise you, It's worth every step. Are you ready to continue down this path of emotional clarity and Stoic wisdom? Are you prepared to confront the lies your emotions have been telling you and reclaim control over your life? If so, let's press on. The truth awaits, and with it, a life of purpose, resilience, and genuine fulfillment. Let's delve deeper into the intricate web of emotional deception that ensnares us daily. Our minds, marvels of evolution that they are, often play tricks on us, distorting reality in ways that can profoundly impact our lives. One of the most insidious of these tricks is what psychologists call emotional reasoning, the tendency to believe that what we feel must be true, regardless of the evidence. This fallacy leads us to make decisions based on our current emotional state, rather than on a rational assessment of the facts. Consider a moment when you felt deeply insecure in a relationship. Perhaps your partner was distant one day, or took longer than usual to respond to a message. In the grip of emotional reasoning, you might have concluded, "I feel unloved, therefore I must be unloved." This belief, born purely from an emotional state, can then drive destructive behaviors, accusation, withdrawal, or even sabotage of the relationship. But here's the crucial point. Your feeling, no matter how intense, is not evidence of reality. It's merely an interpretation, and often a flawed one at that. This is where the Stoic practice of cognitive distancing becomes invaluable. When you find yourself in the throes of a powerful emotion, take a mental step back. Observe the feeling as if it were happening to someone else. Ask yourself, is this emotion an accurate reflection of reality, or is it perhaps distorting my perception? This simple act of questioning can create a space between stimulus and response, allowing reason to enter where emotion once reigned supreme. But emotional reasoning is just one of many ways our feelings can lead us astray. Another common deception is the negativity bias, our tendency to give more weight to negative experiences and information than to positive ones. This made sense for our ancestors, for whom being extra alert to potential threats could mean the difference between life and death. But in our modern world, this bias often leads to unnecessary anxiety, pessimism, and missed opportunities. Imagine you're considering starting a new business. You might find yourself fixating on all the ways it could fail, all the risks and potential setbacks, while downplaying or ignoring the possibilities for success and growth. This skewed focus can paralyze you, keeping you trapped in unfulfilling circumstances out of fear of the unknown. The Stoic approach here is not to ignore potential negatives, but to give equal consideration to positives and to focus primarily on what's within your control. Another emotional trap we often fall into is the impact bias, our tendency to overestimate the intensity and duration of our emotional reactions to future events. We imagine that certain achievements will bring us lasting happiness, or that certain setbacks will devastate us permanently. But the truth is, humans are remarkably adaptable. We tend to return to our baseline level of happiness relatively quickly after both positive and negative events. This bias can lead us to make poor decisions, sacrificing our long-term well-being for short-term emotional payoffs. We might pursue a high-paying but unfulfilling career, convinced it will make us happy, only to find ourselves miserable a few months in. Or we might avoid taking necessary risks, overestimating how badly we'll feel if we fail. The Stoic remedy here is to cultivate a long-term perspective, to focus on living in accordance with our values, rather than chasing fleeting emotional highs or avoiding temporary discomfort. Perhaps one of the most pervasive emotional deceptions is the illusion of control. We often believe we have far more influence over outcomes than we actually do, leading to undue stress when things don't go as planned. Conversely, we sometimes underestimate our control over our own responses to events, falling into a victim mentality that robs us of our power and resilience. The Stoic sage Epictetus famously said, "Some things are up to us, and some things are not up to us." This simple yet profound observation is at the heart of Stoic philosophy. By clearly distinguishing between what we can and cannot control, We free ourselves from unnecessary anxiety and focus our energy where it can actually make a difference, on our own thoughts, attitudes, and actions. As we become more aware of these emotional deceptions, we start to see how deeply they've influenced our lives. Perhaps you've stayed in an unfulfilling job out of fear of change, or held back from expressing your true feelings in a relationship due to fear of rejection. Maybe you've allowed past failures to define your sense of self-worth, or let the opinions of others dictate your choices. These are all manifestations of emotional lies, distorting your perception of reality and limiting your potential. But here's the liberating truth. You have the power to see through these deceptions. With practice and persistence, you can develop the ability to observe your emotions without being controlled by them, to question your immediate reactions, and to choose responses that align with your highest values and goals. This is the essence of emotional intelligence, and it's a skill that can transform every aspect of your life. As we continue our journey into the realm of emotional clarity, it's crucial to understand that this path is not about suppressing or denying our feelings. Instead, it's about developing a more nuanced, balanced relationship with our emotional landscape. Think of it as learning to become the wise observer of your inner world, rather than its helpless victim. Consider the Stoic concept of amor fati, love of fate. This powerful idea encourages us to not merely accept what happens to us, but to embrace it wholeheartedly. It's about finding opportunity in adversity, growth in challenges, and meaning in suffering. This doesn't mean passively accepting injustice or never striving to improve our circumstances. Rather, it's about approaching life's ups and downs with equanimity and a sense of purpose. Imagine facing a major professional setback, perhaps being passed over for a promotion you were certain you deserved. Your immediate emotional response might be a mixture of anger, disappointment, and self-doubt. These feelings are natural and valid, but instead of being consumed by them, what if you could view this situation through the lens of amor fati? You might ask yourself, what can I learn from this experience? How can I use this setback as motivation to grow and improve? What opportunities might this create that I hadn't considered before? This shift in perspective doesn't happen overnight. It requires consistent practice and a willingness to challenge your ingrained thought patterns. One powerful technique for developing this skill is the Stoic practice of negative visualization. This involves regularly contemplating worst-case scenarios and potential losses. While this might sound depressing, its effect is quite the opposite. By imagining losing the things we value, our health, our loved ones, our possessions, we cultivate a deeper appreciation for what we have. Moreover, this practice helps build resilience. When you've mentally prepared for difficulties, you're better equipped to handle them if they do arise. It's like building emotional antibodies, strengthening your psyche against life's inevitable challenges. This doesn't mean becoming pessimistic or expecting the worst. Rather, it's about developing a realistic outlook that acknowledges life's impermanence and unpredictability. Another crucial aspect of seeing through emotional deception is learning to distinguish between productive and unproductive emotions. Not all negative feelings are lies. Sometimes they're valuable signals that something in our life needs attention or change. The key is learning to discern which emotions are guiding us toward growth and which are holding us back. For instance, guilt can be a productive emotion when it motivates us to correct a mistake or make amends for harm we've caused. But when guilt becomes chronic, leading to self-flagellation over past actions we can't change, it becomes destructive. Similarly, fear can be life-saving when it alerts us to genuine dangers, but paralyzing when it prevents us from taking calculated risks or pursuing our goals. Developing this discernment requires cultivating mindfulness, the ability to observe your thoughts and feelings without immediately reacting to them. Start by taking a few minutes each day to sit quietly and observe your mental landscape. Notice the thoughts that arise, the emotions that accompany them, but resist the urge to judge or engage with them. Simply observe. Over time, this practice will help you develop a clearer understanding of your emotional patterns and triggers. As you become more adept at recognizing emotional deceptions, you'll likely encounter resistance from your own mind. Change, even positive change, can be uncomfortable. You might find yourself clinging to familiar thought patterns or emotional responses, even when you recognize they're not serving you. This is normal. Remember, you're challenging deeply ingrained neural pathways, habits of mind that have been reinforced over years or even decades. The key is to approach this process with patience and self-compassion. Each time you catch yourself in an emotional deception, celebrate it as a moment of awareness, a step toward greater emotional intelligence. Don't berate yourself for falling into old patterns. Instead, gently guide your mind back to a more rational, balanced perspective. As you practice these techniques, you'll begin to notice subtle shifts in your daily life. Perhaps you'll find yourself responding to criticism with curiosity rather than defensiveness. Maybe you'll approach challenges with a sense of excitement rather than dread. You might notice a growing sense of inner peace, a feeling of being grounded regardless of external circumstances. These changes may seem small at first, but they have a cumulative effect. Over time, you're not just changing your responses to individual situations. You're rewiring your brain, creating new neural pathways that support emotional resilience and rational thinking. You're building a foundation of inner strength that will serve you in every aspect of your life. Remember, the goal isn't to become emotionless. Your feelings are an integral part of your humanity, capable of adding richness and depth to your experiences. The aim is to develop a harmonious relationship between your emotions and your reason, where feelings inform but do not dictate your actions and decisions. As we approach the conclusion of our exploration into emotional deception and Stoic wisdom, let's reflect on the transformative journey we've undertaken. We've delved into the depths of our emotional landscape, uncovering the hidden lies that our feelings often tell us. We've examined how these deceptions can lead us astray, clouding our judgment and hindering our progress. But more importantly, we've discovered powerful tools to see through these illusions and reclaim control over our minds and lives. Remember, this journey doesn't end when this video stops. The principles and practices we've discussed are not quick fixes or temporary solutions. They represent a fundamental shift in how you approach life, a new lens through which to view your experiences and emotions. This path of emotional clarity and Stoic resilience is one that unfolds over a lifetime, offering ever deeper insights and ever greater strength as you continue to walk it. As you move forward from here, I encourage you to approach each day as an opportunity for practice and growth. When you feel the pull of an intense emotion, pause, take a breath. Ask yourself, is this feeling telling me the truth about reality? Or is it perhaps distorting my perception? Use the techniques we've discussed, cognitive distancing, negative visualization, mindfulness, to create space between stimulus and response, allowing reason to guide your actions. Remember that setbacks and moments of emotional turmoil are not failures, but opportunities for growth. Each time you catch yourself in an emotional deception, you're strengthening your ability to see clearly. Each challenge you face with Stoic resolve is a chance to build greater resilience. Embrace these moments, for they are the forge in which your emotional intelligence is tempered and strengthened. As you continue on this path, you may find that your relationships deepen and become more authentic. Free from the tyranny of unchecked emotions, you'll be able to connect with others from a place of genuine understanding and empathy. You may discover a new sense of purpose and direction in your career, guided by reason and values rather than fleeting emotional impulses. You might even find that your perception of success and happiness shifts, as you learn to find contentment in living according to your principles rather than chasing external validation. But perhaps most importantly, you'll develop a profound sense of inner peace and freedom. When you're no longer at the mercy of every emotional wind that blows, when you can face life's ups and downs with equanimity and clarity, you'll experience a kind of liberation that few ever know. This is the true promise of Stoic wisdom, not a life free from challenges or negative emotions, but the unshakable knowledge that you have the strength to face whatever life brings with grace and resilience. As we part ways, I want to leave you with a final thought. The journey you're embarking on is not an easy one. There will be moments of doubt, of struggle, of backsliding into old patterns. But I want you to know that you're capable of far more than you realize. The strength you're seeking is already within you. It's simply waiting to be uncovered and cultivated. So go forth with courage and determination. Question your emotions, challenge your assumptions, and never stop seeking the truth that lies beyond the veil of emotional deception. Remember, every step you take on this path is a victory, every moment of clarity a triumph. You have the power to reshape your mind, to rewrite the stories you tell yourself, and to create a life of purpose, resilience, and genuine fulfillment. Thank you for joining me on this journey of discovery and growth. May your path be illuminated by the light of reason. May your heart be strengthened by Stoic resolve. And may you find the peace and freedom that comes from truly understanding and mastering your emotions. The power to change your life is in your hands. Embrace it, and watch as your world transforms.